Okay, well, both semifinals are done. We're waiting for the big finale. The show's on tomorrow night, and this is my last video reviewing this year's Eurovision entries. And this is going to be a shorter video. I'm just going to be talking about the big five, and of course the host, Azerbaijan, who are the only 6 songs that are guaranteed a place in the final. And that's because, well, the host is always in the final. That's part of their prize for winning, is they're guaranteed a place there. And the big five, as they're generally known, they're also guaranteed a place in the final because they are the biggest financial contributors to the European Broadcasting Union, and this is one of the things that they get in return for all the money they pay. The opening act of the final is going to be the United Kingdom, which generally tends to leave me a little suspicious. But not this year, because this year, I have to say, the UK has actually made an effort, which they normally, for the past, let's say, 10 years, have absolutely not done. They're kind of stuck in a vicious circle. They do really badly, so people who know what they're doing don't want to be part of it. And so, obviously, as a result, they do really badly, and then people don't want to be part of it. Yeah. But this year, they've sent an absolutely wonderful singer, Engelbert Humperdinck, who you just know, hearing his name and the fact that it's not his real name. When you hear that, you know he's got to be talented. His real name is actually something entirely different, something that he obviously thought was more boring. If I'm not much mistaken, it was Arnold Dorsey. That was his birth name. But he decided, when he was going to try and make it big as a singer, that he needed a better name. Something a little more, I don't know, with some pizzazz and easier to remember, I guess. And he actually chose the name Engelbert Humperdinck. That's the name that he picked for himself. And when you hear that, of course you realize that this guy can really sing. He is a wonderful singer. He's getting old now. He's the oldest performer who's ever been part of the contest. He's 76 years old right now, which is pretty impressive. I have to say, he's still got it. He's a wonderful singer. I think the song is, it's a pretty ballad. The lyrics are a little bit dodgy, but overall the entry is good enough that I don't think people are going to care. I think a lot of people aren't going to notice because they won't be able to understand it. I hope they're going to do really well because I feel like they've really made an effort this year. Not only them, but this is actually one of the few years when all the big five have sent really good songs. Italy, you may not necessarily be covered by that insult. Actually, you aren't. But the rest of you, yeah. But this year, I think everyone's done well. The next of the big five that we hear from is France. Their song is probably the weakest of the big five this year, but it's still a good song. The singer is absolutely gorgeous. They're probably going to get some points on that. Her voice isn't the best, and the song sort of takes a little while to get going. It doesn't really kick in till the chorus, but it is catchy and it's a pretty good entry. It's kind of original in this setting, and I think it's a good entry. Coming from France, I think it's a little more up to date than maybe some of the other entries they've sent in recent years. So I think kudos to France. They've done well this year. And it may be smart also to mix in a little English with the French, possibly. I'm not going to point any fingers, but possibly. Maybe a good idea. And then, next up, Italy. And I just have to say right away, this is my winner. If I can pick the winner this year, then Italy is it. This is such a wonderful, wonderful entry. It's the best song this year, hands down. Just, the melody is wonderful, the singer is wonderful, the music, I mean, the instruments they've chosen and so on, is just absolutely wonderful. I love her style. Of course, I like Imelda May, and this woman, Nina Silly, she's the Italian Imelda May, or vice versa, I don't mean to insult anyone. And so I was bound to like this, but I really think it is a fantastically strong entry. It's just got everything, absolutely everything. She has a wonderful voice, she gives a great performance. It's looking really good in rehearsals, and I have to say this is my winner. And I'm not just saying that because with my friends, it's our tradition that we eat food before watching the show. We have a nice sit-down dinner and we eat food from the host country, and I love Italian food, but that's not the only reason I'm saying this. This really is, for my money, the absolutely best song, hands down. So fingers crossed for Italy. I will definitely be voting for them this year. They're rocking it. Azerbaijan, the host, is of course also in the final, and I think sorry, they've done a really good job this year. It's another of these big Balkan ballads, but it's a very good one. I think this may possibly be Azerbaijan's best entry ever in the contest. Certainly, in my opinion, it's better than what they sent last year. They actually won with. But that does happen. The singer has a lovely voice. The melody is beautiful. I think it's a very good entry. I hope for their sake that they don't win, but it definitely deserves to do very well. I think it's a strong contender. I think it's going to end up doing really well for them. Which of course is always nice. It's a little embarrassing when the host manages to totally bomb. Which of course we did in 2010. But that was probably expected of us. I hope for better things for Azerbaijan. Then Spain also has a ballad. A lot of these big emotional ballads this year. But theirs is a very pretty one. And the singer is quite lovely. She has a good voice and she's been doing very well in rehearsals. I think that she's going to impress a lot of people when she goes on stage. They're probably going to get quite a few votes on that. Just because she's going to kind of blow people away, I think. The song isn't that original. Feels like you've kind of heard it before, but that's true of every song. Not just Eurovision entries, but pop songs generally these days. And I have to say, I think that the contest this year, there are really, while of course everything sounds like something else, there really are a lot of entries this year. That sounds like they're ripped off from something. I'm not going to name any names, but you may have noticed it yourself. Not going to say that Spain sounds ripped off, it doesn't. It just follows the form. That's what I mean. It's standard. It's true to type, but it's still a good song, a quality entry, and I hope Spain does well. I think their singer is really going to impress people. She's very good. So best of luck to Spain. Finally, Germany. They've done very well this year. Again, 3 years in a row. Good for them. The singer has a lovely voice. I think he's really good. I think the ballad, of course, that they've sent is it's a little different. Certainly, stands out from all of these big Balkan things that so many others have sent this year. The problem for Germany is that it may be too good. That maybe doesn't make sense, but if you follow me, it's the same. I'm not going to say problem because I think they did it on purpose last year. When they sent Lena Meyer again with the song that was better, quite possibly, than Satellite, but it wasn't very easily accessible, and that's the thing with this song too. It's too good in the sense that it doesn't stick immediately, you don't get it immediately, you need to hear it a few times in order to sort of understand what they're getting at and really take it to heart. It's not a very accessible song, and of course a lot of people these days, they follow the contest through YouTube and whatnot, various places on the internet, and we hear the songs, you know, you can get the CD ahead of time, and there are sort of presentation shows in the different countries on TV, but you can't assume that everybody's going to be crazy like me and sit around watching all of this stuff before the show happens, so you have to just work on the assumption that you have one chance to impress people. And in that setting, it's not too smart, necessarily, to have a song like this, because if you need to listen to it 5 times for it to really hit you, then you don't have that chance. And that may be a problem for Germany this year. I hope not. I hope they do really, really well, because this is a great entry, and I hope they do very well with it. The presentation looks like it's going to be very striking, and of course that's not going to harm them if people get something impressive visually that is sort of something that sticks in their minds. Going to be more inclined to vote for it. But I think perhaps the Germans may have done too good a job. I think this song is above the level of the contest, where songs need to be easily accessible and just hit the spot right away, because otherwise you don't get any more chances. And especially when you want to the big five, you really do only get that one chance because you don't go through the semi. So you don't have people on the Saturday thinking, oh yeah, that's that song that we saw on Tuesday or whenever. That was really good, I'm going to vote for this again. Or, I didn't vote for it the first time, but I'm going to vote for it now. Because I remember, I really liked it. That's the big five, and the host, Azerbaijan, didn't make a very short video after all. But, what can I say? These are really good songs. 6 good songs from those 6 countries who are guaranteed a place in the final. And that is a very good thing, because, as some of you may agree with me about, there are some of these countries that somewhat waste this golden ticket that they have. That gets them straight through to the final. They don't necessarily use it as well as they should. Not going to point any fingers, but good for the UK. Engelbert Humperdinck. That's a good choice. You can hold your head up high, even if you end up maybe not doing as well as you hope. At least you're trying this year. All of the big five are trying, and I'm really looking forward to seeing them all live on stage on Saturday, after eating our dinner of Azerbaijani mutton soup. It's gonna be fun. We're all looking forward to it. So, yay. Go Italy! Vote for Italy. They rock.